What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is Thursday, which means I'm covering a League of Legends champion, and the champion, if you don't already know that I'm covering today, technically you're gonna know, aren't you, because it's in the title. Anyways, is Evelynn. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start off with her champion teaser, then I'm going to go into her bio, then I'm going to go through her special interactions, then I'm going to do her spotlight, and finally there's a dev's doodles on KDA. I did a very similar one a few weeks back for Silas. I'm going to also add that into the video as well. I'm going to timestamp the whole thing as I always do, so obviously if there's a particular part you want to find out about or actually get onto, that's in there for you as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the champion teaser.
Come on. Oh, are you lonely?
Whoa, what was that?
Let Evelynn take over.
This is gonna end bad. Okay. All right. Okay. So. Okay, cool. So that's a teaser. Nice 59-second teaser. And yeah, that was nice until it wasn't. That was nice until it wasn't. There was something that was a little bit off key after about 10 seconds, and I thought, doesn't seem right. And yeah, it's interesting that obviously everyone that shows that she's taking out are all men. I wonder why. Anyways, let me get into the bio. Let me read the bio to find out a little bit more about this character, and then I can maybe try and break down this actual champion teaser a little bit more. So, yeah, let's get into the bio. Right, so Evelynn, Agony's Embrace. This is the bio. Interesting picture. I mean, the picture's just awful, isn't it? What an awful picture. Yeah, right, so let's scroll down and read this. So, Evelynn, Agony's Embrace. So, within the darkness seams of Runeterra, the demon Evelynn searches for her victim. She lures in prey with the voluptuous facade of a human female. I love that. I love that already. But once a person succumbs to her charms, Evelynn's true form is unleashed. So, this is what obviously we're seeing in the champion teaser. Let me just say that one more time. She lures in prey with her voluptuous facade of a human female. So that's basically what it kind of alluded to in the champion teaser. But once a person succumbs to her charm, even Jin, Evelynn's true form is unleashed. She then subjects her victims to unspeakable torment, gratifying herself with their pain. To the demon, these lesions are innocent fillings. To the rest of Runeterra, they are ghoulish tales of lust gone awry and horrific reminders of the cost of wanton desire. Okay. Evelynn was not always a skilled huntress. She began eons ago as something primordial, shapeless and barely sentient. This nascent wisp of shadow existed, numb and unroused by any stimulation for centuries. It might have remained so had the world not been unpenned by conflict. The Rune Wars, as they would come to be known, brought an era of mass suffering the world had never known. As people across Runeterra began to experience a vast array of pain, anguish and loss, the shadow stirred. The nothingness it had known for so long had been replaced by the manic vibrations of an agonized world. The creature quivered with excitement. So yeah, so already I'm kind of guessing, well, not guessing, clearly she's a demon, but she obviously uses lust as her tool to obviously lure people in. But I'm sure I'm gonna find out later in the bio, but I don't know what her ambition is, what her motive is, what's her objective, apart from obviously killing people. Okay, let's find out. Okay, as the Rune Wars escalated, the world's torment grew so intense that the shadow felt as if it might burst. It drank in all Runeterra's pain, which it experienced as boundless pleasure. Right, okay. So basically, other people's pain is its pleasure. Kind of ironic as well, because obviously the form it takes is of pleasure. The sensation nourished this creature, and over time it transformed into something more. It became a demon, a ravenous spiritual parasite that fed on the basset of human emotions. When the wars finally ended, the world's suffering waned, and the demon found itself growing desperate. Right. Okay. The only pleasure it had ever known was born of other creatures' misery. Without their pain, it felt nothing, just as it had in its earliest days. Right, okay. So that's kind of answered my question. We're now starting to see its actual desire. So initially off suffering, and now that there's no more wars, what can it use? If the world would not provide the suffering the demon needed to thrive, it would have to make its own. It needed to inflict pain on other beings so that it could experience that elation again. At first, catching prey was a challenge for the demon. It could move undetected in its shadowy form, but to touch a human, the creature needed to manifest as something tangible. It made several attempts to fashion a physical body for its shadowy flesh, but each result was more monstrous than the last, scaring off the prey. The demon realised it needed a shape that was pleasing to humans. One that would not only lure them right into its claws, but would offer them ecstasy born of their own desires, so that their pain would be that pain would be that much sweeter, grim. From the shadows, it began to study those it sought to prey upon. It tailored its flesh to their liking, learned to say what they wanted to hear, and to walk in a manner they found alluring. See, I find it ironic that the thing that it uses, which is obviously the pleasures of humans, it uses their emotions to obviously hunt its prey, like it says. She or it is wanting the same thing, but obviously its pleasure is from other people's pain. But I just find it ironic that it's using the same emotion that it needs to hunt, if you know what I mean. In a matter of weeks, the demon had perfected her physique, leading dozens of enamored victims to be tortured to death at her hands. Though she relishes the exquisite pain of each of her victims, she always finds herself wanting more. Each human's desires are so small, and they always expire too soon. Their pain too fleeting to give her any more than tiny morsels of pleasure. It's just enough to tide her over to the next feeding. She yearns for the day she can plunge the world into utter chaos, and she can return to an existence of pure, rapturous ecstasy. Okay, well, right, so that was good. Really good to read up on the bio of Evelynn. Interesting to find out, obviously, that she is obviously a demon that gets pleasure out of tormenting and killing people. But interesting to see how she started, how she was formed, and obviously the rune wars were the thing that kicked off her desire for suffering. Once that faded, she obviously looked at different ways to be able to get that same pleasure, in essence. And that's what I find ironic, that she's searching for pleasure just like the actual victims are, but the end result is slightly different. She obviously uses the emotion lust to get what she wants, and the result of that is that she obviously kills people. But then again, no surprise if she's a demon as well. But no, that was really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the special interactions. I did this last week with Aurelian Sol, and it was really good to see his interactions with different characters within League of Legends as well. So I'm sure I'm going to get a very similar thing with Evelynn. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to her special interactions. Oh, Lucian.
I've seen your wife. You can do better.
Oh, oi! Can't be saying that. Santa's alright. I've seen your wife, you knew better.
Skank. Floozy.
Wow.
I don't really have friends, just people I haven't eviscerated yet. What's the point of torturing you? I wouldn't torture you if you were the last person on Earth.
The crazy thing about that is that's actually a good thing, because obviously that means she's going to kill him. But it's actually a bad thing. She's saying it in a bad way. Poor Amumu. Amumu gets it in the neck every single time. He gets no love from nobody.
I can make you do a lot more than jingle, spaceman. Does that hurt? So, you're a masochist? What you doing later? Blindfolds, huh? Whatever does it for you.
I knew that would come in. I knew something like that was going to be. Yeah.
Can your kind even feel? I don't want to waste my time. I like your style, Kench, but stay out of my territory. You look like someone I could hurt for days. Ooh, I love watching you work. No, don't die yet. Once again, a woman's left unsatisfied. It's okay, hon. Happens to everyone. I think we should break up. Wanna do it again? We need to talk. I wanna kill other people.
What?
I hate it when they don't last. That was hot. Look at me. I need to watch you go.
Wow. Okay, it's grim. That's grim.
I thought you'd last longer. I prefer going naked, but okay. It's a sin to cover something so perfect. Why not give them something to take off? Think of all the places this can go.
Void stuff.
Imagine what we can do with this.
This girl's
It's
mad.
so big.
Oh, come on, you can't be saying that.
Now they will all know true pain. Not the first time I've had dragon. What a magnificent creature. Let's kill it slowly. Don't worry, honey. I'm open to all types. Cold-blooded, just like me.
Sounds about right.
You're a lot to love. Finally, a man who can satisfy me. What they don't know won't hurt them.
Ooh, I like that. That voice is cool.
They can touch, but they can't look.
They can touch but they can't look. Okay.
They all look the same in the dark.
I'm sure they do. Dead.
Let's play hard to get. The night is my veil. So, they like it rough. Okay, my turn. Let's see. Whose life shall I ruin today?
Is that a question? The question is that.
The moment they think they have me. Yeah, that's what I live for. This place is so bland. It needs a splash of red.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Show me the man who has everything, and I'll show you my next victim. Oh, so many joyful people to hurt.
What? This girl is sick. Is that the end? That is the end. Wow, yeah, she is. We kind of confirmed. It was kind of confirmed in the bio, but yeah, she's a basic demon that gets pleasure of people dying and people suffering. And the bigger the trap, the actual more sweeter the pleasure is for her. And that, obviously, last line was obviously a perfect example of that as well. But for me, my favourite line has to be, it's quite obvious, my favourite line has to be the one right at the beginning. The one she says to Lucien. That's mental.
I've seen your wife. You can do better.
What? I've seen your wife, you can do better. Wow, that is my favourite interaction out of all of them. A lot of them really good actually as well, but that is definitely my favourite interaction. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the spotlight. I'm going to look at a little bit of her gameplay, and obviously it's going to discuss a little bit of her abilities as well. So yeah, let's get into the spotlight. Poor Jin.
This is Evelynn, Agony's Embrace. Eve lures in her prey with the promise of love, then subjects her victims to unspeakable torment.
My pleasure, your pain.
Welcome to the Evelynn Champion Spotlight.
Kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Sums it up perfectly. My pleasure, your pain. Mad.
Evelynn's passive is Demon Shade. After leaving combat for a few seconds, Evelynn is enveloped by Demon Shade. If Evelynn's health is low, she'll recover it quickly while this ability is active. Starting at level 6, Demon Shade also grants Camouflage. This makes Evelynn hidden from view to all except nearby enemy champions, control boards, and turrets. Evelynn's Q is Hate Spike. She lashes out, dealing damage to and marking the first enemy hit. This target receives additional damage from Evelynn's next few attacks or abilities. If the marked target is a monster, a significant chunk of Hate Spike's cooldown will be refunded. Even if Hate Spike misses, Evelynn can recast the ability up to 3 times to fire a line of spikes to the nearest enemy champion or whatever Evelynn is currently attacking.
So Hate Spikes.
The spikes deal full damage to all enemies beyond the first. Evelyn's W is Lust Dust.
Lust Dust.
Enough foreplay.
She temporarily curses a target champion or monster. Hitting the cursed target with her basic attacks or abilities will expunge the curse, damaging and significantly slowing the target, and refunding Lust Dust's mana cost.
Don't worry, honey. I'm open to all types.
If Evelynn leaves the curse untouched for a few seconds, Lust Dust will charm the target instead of slow, and shred their magic resist. If the target is a monster, the length of the charm will be increased, and the spell will deal even more damage. Casting Lust Dust does not break Demon Shade, but it does show your opponent a little indicator that points to your location when the W charge completes. Evelynn's E is Whiplash.
Careful, I'm a biter.
She impales an enemy with her lashers, applying on-hit effects and dealing damage as a percent of the target's maximum health. Evelynn is then granted a short burst of movement speed. Entering Demon Shade resets Whiplash's cooldown and empowers its next cast. When casting Empowered Whiplash, Evelynn pulls herself to her target, deals additional damage, and hits all enemies in a line through her target. Evelynn's ultimate is Widowmaker.
Wow. Okay.
She unleashes her demonic energy,
which is obviously what we saw at the end of the champion teaser as well.
Becoming untargetable and cleaving enemies in front of her before warping backwards.
Whose life shall I ruin today?
This ability deals bonus damage to low health enemies. Targets vulnerable to the bonus damage from Widowmaker will have a marker above their head. This does not necessarily mean that they will die to it.
Oh, okay.
Once you enter the late game, Evelynn's job is to end fights before they start. Look for clueless supports in the jungle to evaporate, or just pop out of nowhere and 1v1 their squishies when they think they're safe. After dumping all your damage on your primary target, it's okay and often optimal to move in and out of combat to re-enable Demon Shade and Empowered Whiplash. This way, you'll get even more damage out of it and regain your cooldowns to eviscerate your next target. Thanks for watching the Evelynn Champion Spotlight. Want to learn even more? Check out these links to submit to Agony's Embrace.
So I reckon now that I'm taking these are obviously her costumes or her different skins. Cool. Okay, cool.
Show's over, boys.
Right, that was really good. Spotlight. Really good. Is that the end? Oh, okay. I'm glad I didn't pause it too early. That last shot there was really good. Basically saying what you see is definitely not what you get. That was cool. So, let me quickly recap on this one now before I go into Doodles for KDA. I really like how it showed right at the beginning of the Spotlight. It showed that she was using her abilities on a particular character, and that character is Jin. I like how it did that, and that's definitely, I'm sure it's not a coincidence. You know, Jin's got this fascination with killing, making it artistic and death in general, and she obviously can give it. She's definitely the giver of death. She definitely brings it. So I like how they did that. And just in general, yeah, her abilities seem to be pretty cool. She seems obviously quite squishy at the beginning, but obviously that ability to be able to be invisible kind of counters that as well. So it's cool to obviously see her abilities, her passives, and her in-game play as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to Doodles KDA. So let's go.
When we were looking at what KDA could be, It was a bit of a challenge because we knew nothing about making K-pop music. But at the same time, we thought this was a great opportunity to surprise players as far as like what we could make for people. About 2 years ago in China, we had a really cool performance at Worlds.
Yeah, 2017.
And that really struck a chord with a lot of people at Riot. When a lot of our team came back, we found out that Worlds 2018 was in Korea.
A bunch of different riders were kind of these hidden K-pop fans. So it was kind of cool to see everybody's eyes and ears perked up like,
why don't we make a music video?
And then put dance choreography in there.
And maybe lean into K-pop a bit.
But we knew nothing about it in terms of how to make K-pop music.
We had experience recording people and making songs. This was a whole new genre.
But we thought there's just this really cool opportunity for us to deliver an impactful experience to players.
Obviously, it's career
So
as well.
For us, the
Makes
research
sense.
was like living and breathing it, going hours down a YouTube portal and see what's going on in that industry.
K-pop is such a wide genre of music. It goes from ballads to hip-hop, regular pop.
It was like, there's so many different flavors of K-pop. Are we doing the right one?
So we needed to figure out all of that together, and it was difficult. So there are multiple levels of people working on KDA, people on the skins, on the music side, on the campaign itself. And we went through so many concept iterations to find the tone that we wanted to hit for KDA. Early on in the process, a lot of people referenced the old popstar thematic. So the first iterations were too cute, too bubblegum. It felt like a concept we would have released in 2013, but not 2018.
Boy.
I think from this, the gears started turning in our heads as far as what could be. We started asking ourselves, what if this was a sequel to Popstar?
Like, what would Ari be now? What is that next level in this kind of solo star to wanting to start her own group? What would that look like in a really cool modern twist?
I thought.
If you're looking at pop artists, K-pop artists currently, you see a trend in empowered women that all feel really strong.
So the music team did a pass at it, which was just instrumental.
We tried different kinds of vibes, different tempos, different types of energies, just to see where the overall feel of the track could go into. We wanted something singable, hard-hitting, something that makes you feel good when you listen to it, that kind of gets you pumped up.
And it does. Yeah, it's a track.
So
it's a
some
track.
of the sounds were partly influenced by hip-hop, so the different types of kick drums, the sound of the bass. There's kind of a melodic line behind the beats. And then the pitched kind of vocal, it kind of says like, hey. I would say those were the core kind of ideas melodically.
Hearing it for the first time, like there was something special about that.
Yeah, let me quickly pause it here actually, because the first K-pop type of music I'd ever heard was obviously KDA. And I think I said right at the end of that, if that's K-pop, then I like it. Then I like K-pop, I'll tell you that now. If that's K-pop, K-pop's alright, you know. Wow. Then I like K-pop because it instantly it sounds good straight away. In my opinion, it sounds good straight away. Some tracks are kind of like growers. That one, boom, straight away I liked it. And every aspect about it, like they mentioned there, was so catchy as well.
The team was very excited and people started to believe that we could actually do KDA like we had it in mind. Even our art lead was humming the beats of the song itself, and he was really into it.
Yeah.
From there, they're creating the skins and the initial art and the music video itself, the live performance element, as well as choreography and all the content that needs to be created. So the demo really helped identify like what KDA is.
So because everyone was caring so much for the project overall, everyone gave their extra 10% that we really need for a project like that.
I think a lot of the stuff were things we had to learn because we haven't done it before. And so what helps is having a passion for what we were trying to do, and hopefully it's also the same thing that players love.
Good. Okay, that's ending. That's good. That was really good. Yeah. So a few things I'll say on this. Very similar to the one I actually watched on Silas as well. I really enjoyed the animation. The animation throughout this video makes it so much easier to understand and watch. And the humour elements they actually put into the actual emotions of the animation, really funny as well. But yeah, one other thing I was saying is the actual KDA Pop Stars. That track is popping. That track, I tell you now, is absolutely popping. And I think it's probably one of the most viewed anyway League of Legends music videos. And you can see why, because for someone like me who was never heard K-pop before, didn't know anything about it, instantly I actually enjoy that track. And I can imagine that's probably the same for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know anything about Korean music, they don't know a lot about K-pop, but they listen to that and they like it as well. So yeah, that's just obviously testament to how good actual Riot is at making music, which you kind of already knew. Everything they make in terms of music is like 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's kind of it for me today, guys, in this one. Hopefully you enjoyed my actual breakdown and thoughts on Evelynn the character, and also this Dev's Doodle add-on as well. So what I'm thinking of doing for Evelynn is a part 2, very similar to what I've done for Pyke, and I've also done for Aurelian Sol. And what I'm thinking of doing in that is I'm going to go through her story, if she's got one. I'm sure she'll have one. I'm going to go through her story, I'm going to go through her voice lines, and also her login theme, which is her music as well. Every champion I've done so far where I've actually listened to and reviewed their login screen, it's been absolutely amazing, and it ties in nicely with actually this KDA music video as well. Riot know how to make music. It's probably for me the best thing, so I've got to obviously go through and do hers as well. It's a cert. So that's what my plan is kind of for part 2. I don't know when I'm going to drop part 2, but that is in the works, and I will be dropping that at some point in the future as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe if you've not done so already. I go through a different League of Legends champion every single Thursday, and I will be revealing what my next champion for next week will be in Saturday's video. So yeah, wishing you all an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one.